Hello everyone, I'm back with another video, and today I'll be showing you my method of how I like to attach non-stretch fringing to a costume. So as you can see here, I've got the costume on my mannequin. I've just chosen this mannequin because it is the same size as the dancer that this costume would fit. So you just want to make sure that your costume is stretched out to the appropriate size because you're adding a non-stretch item onto a stretch costume. All I am doing right now is pinning the non-stretch fringing onto the costume, and I'm using a pin every inch or so. For this costume, I'm just putting it around the back of the bottom. I've also put it on the top, so the same method applies for anywhere on the costume. Now this is a personal preference, but I find one layer of fringing to be a little bit too thin, so I like to go back around where I've just gone with a second layer of fringing. So all I'm doing here is going back around and I'm pulling out the pin and pinning back through both layers. Just one thing to note, this mannequin used to have a cover on it that was made of fabric, but I ended up taking it off because every time I wanted to pin applique or fringing on the costume, it would always catch through the lining on the mannequin, and this would just be really annoying because then I'd have to go back through and unpin and repin to not catch that layer. So I decided just to take it off. So if your mannequin does have any kind of lining fabric on it, just make sure that you're not pinning through that as well. Once you have all your fringing pinned where you would like it, take off your costume and then we're going to take it over the sewing machine. So this is what it should look like when it is sitting flat. It will be slightly bubbly. That's because when the lycra is stretched, that is when the fringing will sit flat. So we're at the sewing machine and you can see here when I pull it, it makes it sit flat again. So that's what we want. And now I'm going to be using a zigzag stitch to sew this on. For my machine, I like to use a width and a length of about 4. But essentially I like the zigzag to sit just inside of that band on the fringing. The only real consideration when sewing on the fringing is that everything's sitting flat and you don't catch any of the tassels in the stitching. But really that's it. For the rest of this video, all I'm going to be doing is sewing on this fringing. So watch on if you would like to see how I do it, and happy sewing! Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below.